What's up everyone? You join me on a Friday night / Saturday morning session. The flies down here are doing my head in already. I've been here 15 minutes. It's quite a high tide today. I suppose I should really tell you where I am. I'm on Barton's Point. Nice and local for me. I did go down to the yacht club, but someone beat me to it because the A249 was closed, so I ended up going all the way down the A2, M2 to Faversham, turning around and coming all the way back up again. Bloody annoying. Anyway, we're here now. A couple of people fishing down that way. But yeah, someone beat me to the yacht club, and it's only really big enough to park one car, 2 people fishing up there, so I thought sod it, just go to Barton's, place I know. See if there's any hounds about, any fawnies. Tide's at 4 o'clock in the morning. It is now 1 o'clock, I believe. Left mine at 12. And with all the bloody hoo-ha of the roads, yeah, took me an hour. So, what are we using today? We got the Tip Tornado, basically the same as my last video, but for you that ain't seen it. Tip Tornado, casting special. Then we got the 7HT with a Gorilla Surf MX. I say it in most videos, but that is, for the price it is, bloody brilliant rod. Not powerful, really powerful. Bangs a 7-ounce lead, no problem. I use that for conger fishing, to be fair. Business end. So on the Tip Tornado, we've got a long, step back a bit, long sort of 2.5 foot pulley with a 6-ounce lead and a hardback, bound up exactly the same as my last video. So you put the hook through the back sockets, take the swimming legs off, through the back sockets, bound one side of the legs up to just over the eye there, and keep going up, and you can pass your pennel through that just behind the bait and elastic that holds that there nicely. So that's a 6-ounce. They're all I'll tell you what, I'm quite liking these Trojan sort of pulley kits. They're brilliant. And then on the one that's going out for the raise, very short, probably 1.5 foot pulley, no pennel on this, just a 6.0, nice chunk of bluey and a 5-ounce lead, purely because I couldn't be bothered to dig through my box and get another 6 out, so that'll do me for tonight. Like I said, that tide's crept up really quick already, so I have a feeling I'm going to be right up against that bank tonight, if not on top of it. We'll see how the tide goes. It's a 5.9 tonight. It's the biggest tide before it starts to fall off again. Said to the missus, I said it's perfect tonight because tomorrow we've got storms coming, so it's going to be my only chance to get out over this weekend. I believe as it stands, next weekend I'm working, so I won't be able to come out on a night fish, which is when I've had most of my decent fish. So yeah, a bit about Barton's Point. It is literally slap bang in the middle of the island. There's like a little slipway there you can walk down, park the car at the top. It's probably really easy fishing. I mean, the yacht club's even easier because you fish out the car, but this is spot on. So yeah, that's the rigs explained. Another thing is, with these breakaway leads, the old impact leads, if these, just unclip it, if these feel a bit loose when you clip them up, I've just done it to mine, you just squeeze them in, bend them in a bit. When you clip them up, sorry the camera's not all that great, I'm trying to do it one-handed. When you clip them up, it makes them a lot stiffer, so they're not just breaking out really easy in the tide. Just thought I'd share that. I know it's saying simple, but it's just one of them things people overlook. So I'll get these banged out, and see how we go. Hopefully have another cracking session. Still got hardbacks in there. Yeah, oh, I'll tell you what I'm here. Baits today. We got joeys, squid, a couple of peeler. I said joeys, didn't I? Squid. Yeah. Again, that box coming in handy. I think what I might do is actually duct tape all the way around it, stiffen it up a bit, just in case. Right, enough of me waffling on, let's get these rods out. Well, I've had the ray rod out, I've had the hound rod out, and I thought I've got some mackerel, I'll throw on half a joey and just chuck it in the surf, see what happens. And I've been rewarded with, if he's going to stay still, nope, of course he ain't, because he's a bass. Lovely, turn my head torch off, come here, lovely bass. He goes 46, doesn't look that big on camera, to be honest. Yeah, he goes 46, so I'll be coming home with me for some tea, unfortunately. Oh, if he goes again, right. What I'll do then, guys, I'll get that bass rod back out, see if I can get myself a bigger one. I know the limit's only 2, so I'm taking a risk by keeping this one. If a couple of nice decent ones come along, but he's over the 42, he's 46, so he's going to come home with me and make a nice little nice meal. I mean, I don't normally keep fish, guys, not very often. I mean, I've kept the odd place, bass in the past, but 9 times out of 10 I like to see them swim away. I like to just think I get rewarded for my effort sometimes, so yeah, what we'll do is we'll that tide's really creeping up behind me. What I'll do is I'll get this poor fella dispatched and hopefully we'll get another one. Nice one, guys. Well, just thought I'd bring you back just to sort of explain what I'm doing with that bass rod, to be fair, because I kind of stuck it out. I didn't think about showing you exactly what I was doing. So normally I'd use like a boat running leisure sort of thing with like a 4.0, something along them lines. And today I went slightly different. I put a pulley panel on. No need for a clip down, because you literally, I'm not kidding when I say you don't want to be going over sort of 25-30 yards. You don't want to be casting any further than that. The bass like to run in close. It's quite a steep beach here anyway, so it's quite a high tide. So yeah, what I was doing is joey mackerel, the old mackerel mate. What I was doing, this is what I tend to do with these, is cut them at a slight angle. So sort of halfway down the, just above halfway down the fish, just cut at an angle. Basically you're aiming for his how can I put it, bumhole, I guess. You're aiming for that, so you want to come down like that, and that leaves all the guts exposed. And I was putting the bottom hook through under the gills and then out the back, so you obviously pull the line through it, then back through, and then using the pennel hook to go through the top, through the mouth, so you're going through the bony bit in the top of the head. That'll help hold it on. But like I said, you're not exactly power casting, you're just literally flicking it out. I've had two good bass like in the last couple of videos that I've put up, literally in the surf. One of the things that I was talking to someone about was overcasting, and he was like, it's 100% the biggest flaw on most bass fishermen is they overcast. I know a lot of people get it in their heads. I used to, that you have to be out a million miles. I used to focus on getting that distance. But in some areas, some aspects, you really don't need to. Don't get me wrong, you can always get bass out of distance. It does happen, but 90% of the ones I've caught have literally been at your feet. River Medway, for example. If you're in the middle, you're in the wrong place. And like I said, there's a chance of getting them out the middle, of course. And I have seen them come out the middle, but %90 of them come from very close in. And I've had them on whole squid, king rag, mackerel, and obviously the lure. I went out lure fishing last night? Yeah, last night for a couple of hours, and I lost a good bass. I was gutted, absolutely gutted, and I caught a small one. So what's that floating around? Good. For a second then I thought it was a bloody hound coming up to the surface. You see how far that tide's pushed up? It's literally there, and there's the wall. I knew it was going to be a big one today, but it should start slowing down now. So hopefully it won't come much over that bank. I might have to move back a tad, but nothing too drastic. To be fair though, that's the first bass I've had off of here. I just thought I'm going to try it because I've seen loads and loads of bass coming out on the Thames on the boats. So I just thought I'd try it, and it's paid off. So definitely saved me a blank, that's for sure. Because if I hadn't put that in, as of now, I would have been blanking. I sort of modified that salty tripod to take 3 rods. Just made up a little bracket that sits underneath the screw, comes out, and just your generic rod rest stand on it. Then I obviously hook my torch around it, and because it's steel underneath, it tends to magnetise a little bit. That faces straight up the rod tips. That's just like a work light. By trade I'm a mechanic, and I've had that years and I don't really use it. So it's been adopted for me fishing. Although looking at that, it's very low on battery. It's starting to get light now. Otherwise it'd be a head torch jobby. Yeah, that Century bass, I absolutely love this. I love the whipping on it. And in my eyes, I've got it for a bargain as well. But if anyone can point me in the right direction to what that is, it's but the whipping on it, it's amazing. It's only 11 foot. I think it's 11'3". It's not a massive rod, but then bass rods ain't. I'm using that Tronix that I was talking about when I was up Newcastle. My only gripe with it is I might have to move the reel seat because it is so low. Wind it in, especially when you've got a belly like me, constantly punching your stomach when you're reeling in, so I might have to put a sliding reel seat on that. But other than that, that's such a good little light rod. I bet it'd be quite fun on a boat as well. Completely different ball game to the Tip Tornado Sport and the Gorilla. Definitely a big difference. I've actually heard loads of people say early morning sessions are good for bass. Don't know how true that is, but I've heard loads of people say it. Yeah. We'll see what exciting this happens next. I've had a really good month this month, and you know what? I'm over the moon with it. Really, really good month. Whoever's looking over me up there, doing their job well this month. I've not seen them guys down there pulling anything yet. I've been keeping an eye out. They might well have done. Probably had a lot more than me. This is one of them marks that I just come to when I just really can't be bothered to drive more than bloody half hour. Although today it took me a lot longer because they closed A249 slip. So I had to go all the way down to Faversham and then back up, and then I could come off. Hey, lesson learned, check the road before you go. So, I've always wanted to fish over there. So you see where the lights are on top of the cliff to your left. That's a point called East Church Gap. You've probably heard of it in the news or whatever if you're from around here, that the cliffs are eroding and the old caravans are falling in and stuff like that. But I've never had a stingray. Never. And I know they get them over there, so I know it sounds stupid, it's only just there, so I can't see why you couldn't get them off of here. So I might try some big ragworm baits next time I'm over here and the conditions are right. They're saying I've got to look into and talk to people about how to go about it. That's literally all I do, guys. I know this last month looks like I'm shit hot at fishing and stuff like that, but honestly, it's just talking to the right people. I have really crap weeks. I think my longest was 6 weeks and it was doing me in where I had nothing. And funny enough, that was when I was on the rays. I don't have much luck with thornbacks. It was like a good 6 weeks straight. I mean, there was the odd whiting in there, but can you really count them? Okay, if you're new to the sport, then yeah, definitely count them, because catch is a catch. But when you're after that certain fish and they're on the go, that and dogfish, and they're on the go, they're pests. But by all means, I'm not saying that in a pommy sort of way, like I want a big fish and that's it. I want a decent species. No, it's not that. It's when you've been doing it for so long and you go out for that specific fish, like an ungulate, which is going to be one of my next targets. So I'll have to get down the south coast for that. Rays, especially the dogfish, love a ray bait. I'm very surprised I ain't had any tonight, because I've had a few off of here. Although they seem to come in waves. One month you'll catch a load, then they sort of die back. So I've actually got a mackerel towel out at the minute on that bass rod. I might swap that over to what I explained at the beginning and put the front end on again, because that was literally out 2 minutes, 2-3 minutes. See a knock and I thought, oh, maybe it's a little whiting, and then the rod doubled over. I was like, that's no whiting. Struck into it. And it didn't really feel much of a fight, and then all of a sudden, yep, she rocketed. Bass are such a fun fish to catch, especially on the lure. Brilliant fish to catch. I absolutely love them. I like anything with a fight, to be fair, like most of you. Yeah, like most of you will. Don't get me wrong, I like place fishing, but when you get to about 10 and you're on the same session, I start to think, oh, wish you could fight a bit more. It's all a learning curve, it's all a learning curve. Learn something new every time you go out or watch YouTube channels. Speak to the right people. There's so many different ways of getting information. It's just about being brave. Sort of thinking outside the box sometimes really helps. Yeah, that torch is dying. To be fair, I don't even think I need it on to. Let's have a look. Oh. Don't need it on now. Perfect. That died right at the right time. I only had half charge when I got here. A lovely morning to be out. My missus said to me, she said, oh, why don't you go Saturday night, because then you've had rest after work. Yeah, no. Storms are coming in. This is sort of the calm before the storm, I think. And I'm not standing there with a carbon fibre and fiberglass pole when there's lightning about. No thank you. Right, I'm going to reel that bass rod in and change over to the mackerel head, see what happens. Then I suppose I better bait up the ray rod again. Right, I'll bring it back, guys. Well, no sooner did I change over to the old mackerel head. Gosh, what a beaut. He goes 52. What an absolute beaut. Yeah, well happy with that. And that was literally just underarm flick, 10 yards max. What a beautiful thing. I've explained this before, but I'll do it again for you that didn't see the video in Brighton. Sorry about the blood, guys, that's where I've unhooked him. So on his back here, they are razor sharp, the tips of them. On the back of the gills, razor sharp. Don't put your hands anywhere near them. Normally what I do, if I'm going to hold it, I'll push down like that and then grab. That way he can't kick it out and stab you. And also if you pinch the gills closed, he can't get you. So yeah, well, that's my 2 for this session. That's my limit, so any more I catch, be going back. You've got to stay within the guidelines. Yeah, that's my 2. That's 2 mils, so I'm over the moon with that. I'll still stick a bass rod out because they're bloody good fun to reel in, but yeah, they'll be going back from now on. Right guys, over the moon with this session. Like I said, I'm having a bloody good month and I'm going to make the most of it. So yeah, I'll bring you back if anything else comes along. Well, brought you back, weighed them fish before I gutted them. One was £2, one was £3.1. So well happy with that. Oh no, sorry, £2.3 and £3.1. That's it. Yeah. I knew I'd mess up because I'm on camera. There we go. Look at that beautiful sunset. Sunrise, should I say? God, I'm tired. This camera don't do it justice, but that is beautiful. I hit this spot right at the right time. Morning tide, the biggest tide, and the water is, well, it's clear for where I am. It's not nowhere near Brighton. It's starting to murk up a bit now because the tide's going out, but it was really clear. I've thrown that bass rod out a little bit further this time just to get past the dirt. But honestly, what a beautiful morning I've had. So far, not too bad, but I've packed the other 2 rods away. Gonna leave this out another 10-15 minutes and I'll pack it away. I'll head home and get some goddamn sleep because I am tired. But this is what I'm saying. Like I said in the last video, doing a channel, God, you've got to put the hours in. You've really got to put the hours in. Don't get me wrong, I do post the odd session where I blank, but if I was to post every blank session, I think people get pretty fed up of my channel pretty quickly. So I normally tell you about them anyway. So if I do blank, I'd normally tell you in the video that I post. But the hours that I've put in to get these decent fish, not just on the beach either, the hours scrolling through the internet, watching videos, it's amazing what you can learn now. I mean, when I was younger we didn't really have computers as such. We did, but very, very basic. Took you 10 hours to load it. So growing up now, like my sister, I've got an 8-year-old sister, she can tell me everything about all sorts of things. A little shore crab washed up. Yeah, and it is a really useful tool, really useful. Anyway, stop chatting crap again. And well, thanks for all you new subscribers and the old ones of course, but thanks for jumping on board. Hopefully you enjoy my videos. If you want to know something, or you want to see more or something, then just put it in the comments below and I'll happily try and accommodate it to the best I can. I mean, there's going to be bits that I don't know, so, but I'll be honest about it. I'm not going to go telling you to do something that I've never done. So if I've done it, I'll try and help you guys out, and I'll try and show you the ropes. Just let me know if there is anything that you want to see more of. Baiting, rigs, another thing that I've done with this mark, which comes into your watercraft, is I've marked a certain point by a landmark. I'm not going to go shouting about it. It's up over the top anyway. But yeah, there's a certain landmark up there that I go by because I've walked down here at low tide, very low tide, and walked out and found divots, rough, smooth ground, so I roughly know where I'm casting and what I'm casting into. I mean, I know down that end, when the tide turns to go out, it is an absolute nightmare because it rips around that corner. All the weed rips around with it. Probably where I am now is probably just comfortable because the tide seems to swing sort of, the weed sort of swings off that point, it sort of swings round and then out. You do get a bit of weed here, but nowhere near as much as down there. Down there is an absolute killer. Nowhere near as bad as Reculver, don't get me wrong. So you could fish it, but why would you when you could come up this way? Yeah, it's a tiny little bit shallower here. It is deeper up that end, and as you move down the beach, it definitely gets shallower and shallower. I've noticed that when the tide was out, because this is quite a slope on this beach. You don't really realise it until you're at the bottom of it. But it is quite a slope, and then down that end it really does sort of kick down, so you're in deep with water up that end. And down that end you can pretty much walk flat out if you're sort of on that last corner there. You could literally just walk straight out, no divots down or anything like that. So I can't believe how nice it is. I don't normally do morning sessions because I'm not a morning person. Anyone that knows me knows I'm a grumpy git in the morning. But it's actually paid off me coming out. There was a seal knocking around. He was out there chilling. I see him the other day as well at Queenborough. Went down there with the old spinning rod. That was a blank, to be fair. Nothing come of that one. Although last night I went to my little spot. All I can tell you is it's on the Medway, but I got my little spot on the Medway, and I missed quite. Well, I didn't miss it. I lost quite a big one. He run like hell. Started to tighten up the clutch a little bit just to sort of try and drag him back round towards me, and he swam in towards the wall and bumped, and I think he bumped the hook out. And lost it. Gutted because it was really running as well. But I had a small one. He went back. He weren't. I think he was only about 32, which ain't actually small. If you're just looking for a nice fight on a... Hello, that come up a bit high. If you're looking for a fight on a little lure spinning rod, I mean, I'll show you my little spinning rod setup. There's nothing special. It really ain't nothing special. Taking a notice of the lure that's on there. That's just one that I had on there on the other day. I was just trying to see. Good old Medway tackle sorting me out again. See if it can focus. Come on. Showed it. It's really a pike spinning rod. But as Medway tackle was supplying, we're saying, it really doesn't matter. If it can bring in a pike, it'll definitely bring in a bass. And What's this rated to? I can't remember. Max 90 gram. So it's got quite a flick on it. I mean, even with a little 30 gram on it, does flick out. It's a nice little rod actually. And then I've just got that paired up with a cheap little Mitchell, again Medway tackle. I didn't want to spend over the moon because I didn't even know if I'd like lure fishing at that point. That's with I think that's 15-pound Rovex braid. And then normally I'd have a clear leader on there with a clip on the lure. But the other day I snapped that off and I didn't have any leader with me, so it was just a straight tie on jobby. But you don't be scared to try. One thing I've found with my bass fishing, especially, is don't be scared to try things that you think, Jesus, that ain't gonna work. Because I can tell you now, my lure box is nothing like professional standard lures, and I can show you the ones I've had bass on. The old sand hills, they're always bloody good, they are. The black one, that's really good. That is my favourite. That smut, well, you can see how many times it's been hammered. It's missing eyes and all sorts. I've had a few on these. They look massive. They are quite weighty, to be fair. They look absolutely huge. But I've had small bass on them as well, to be fair, but I've had the odd decent size one. And then you've got obviously your divers and stuff like that, so you're hard. These ain't cheap. They really ain't cheap. When you think you're tying it onto a bit of line, you get that snag. Well, mine, you get them snagged, you lose them. That's 12 quid down the drain. 12, 16 quid. I mean, lures go silly money. I mean, I think, I can't quite remember, but I'm sure that one, I think, was up in the £16 bracket. Big old mackerel. Some of these are freshwater lures and they really do work. So, I mean, you've got the big metal plug sort of things. Good old sea glow bits. You've got your top water lures, this, which for where I fish, I don't even know why I got it, to be honest, because the water's never clear enough. This is another good one. I seem to do well on the darker colours. This is another little good one. That's been hammered. Things like that. That sort of just bumps along the bottom. If you, depends how slow you reel it. I mean, that's another thing. You got to sort of gauge and slowly work out what the fish are liking. I think he's just got little cheap, crappy things like that. But funny enough, I've actually had a bass on that pink one as well. So that's my little box. It's nowhere near what a lot of people have. I've seen people with hundreds of lures, but I seem to catch on them, so I'm not following crowds. I don't follow crowds. I tend not to follow crowds. I tend to go and do my own thing and figure it out myself. Obviously, you learn the ways through YouTube, but if they say, oh, we're at Dymchurch and we're catching, I don't know, cod in the winter, you know full well everyone will be down there. I tend to sort of go local to it, obviously, because you know they're there, but I tend not to go to the exact spot, and I tend to sort of coast out my own area. But you always got to try new places because you never know. You never know what's going to hit in. You can go somewhere you've never been before and catch the fish of a lifetime. You just never know. Anyway, I'll stop talking crap. And I'm going to love you and leave you guys because I'm going to pack up, get back up to the motor, go home and have a sleep. Alright. Cheers for tuning in, guys. I really do appreciate it. And I'll see you soon. Tight lines, people.